Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to this week of English 410. Just like last week when we spent our week focusing on just one major assignment, we're going to be doing that again this week. So this week we are working on an original case study. And the original case study is a chance for you to gather some information that you'll be including in your MIR. So I want to talk a little bit about the original case study assignment. Hopefully this will answer some of those frequently asked questions, and then we'll talk a little bit about the peer review, kind of orient ourselves to this major assignment because it is what you'll be working on all week. So it's nice to get those questions answered right off the bat. So, big assignment, 100 points. So those are nice to get in the point bank. The purpose of this assignment is to elicit useful information from your classmates. This is going to be for section 3.4 of your MIR. So, it is important that you do it if you want to be able to get a fully documented MIR, which I know we all do because we all like good grades. So this is your chance to kind of elicit some feedback from your classmates so that you can then turn that feedback into a data set. We'll be doing some Excel graphing with it, potentially, and getting some really applicable firsthand kind of research data that we can put into our MIR. So that's what the original case study is going to be accomplishing for us. And it will be subsection 3.4 of the MIR, so you can always go into the MIR, look at that section, see exactly what it entails. So for this assignment, in 3 or more paragraphs, write an original case study that dramatizes important points of your overview of current theory. So section 2.0. In a manner similar to a case study, and I've got an example for you here, which is the Great West Casualty Company versus the estate of G. Witherspoon. Your original case study should dramatize a communication problem, challenge, or opportunity faced by a manager. Your original case study needs to consist of 2 parts, the original case study and then a list of questions. Your peers are going to be answering that list of questions to give you some data to work with. So, to really dive into this here, we did some case studies at the beginning of our time together. If you remember back to the old Walla case or the Taco Bell cases, those are case studies. So if you want to think about how you might create a case study, remember how those were phrased and written. I also have this example of an insurance one, if you're interested in that as well, just so you can kind of see a different angle that's not food related. So in your original case study, we are going to tell a story, basically. So you're going to tell a story, but just enough of a story for the reader to form his or her own recommendations. Because if you think back to the old Walla case study and the Taco Bell case study, you, as the audience, had to form recommendations, right? And we wrote those in the form of a business letter or a memo. That's kind of what we're trying to elicit here. So basically, you're just writing the story that then will elicit a response. So in your story, the manager or supervisor in your case study could have tried a current solution, but it wasn't quite right, or it made the problem worse. Your case study should include the following elements in an order that flows naturally. So it doesn't have to go in this order, but all these things do need to be present. So the name of the company, manager, and important coworkers. You can use nom de plumes or pseudonyms if this is based on real life. Origin and mission or goals of the company, the specific event that led to the problem, challenge, or opportunity, the actual problem, challenge, or opportunity that was faced by the manager, and this is the heart of the study. This is the most important information in there. The people or entities affected by the problem, and this will be the stakeholders. Remember, we had to identify stakeholders when we were working with Odwalla or Taco Bell? Same kind of thing here. And any preliminary decisions by the manager to attempt to resolve the problem. These may or may not have worked. It doesn't have to be 100% successful. All the items in the list need to be in that case study, and they are in a sample case study that I've got for you. And then your management communication study can be based on a personal experience. You can think back to your own work experiences and a problem that you've seen, either that you had to deal with yourself or you've seen management deal with. If you're using a real life one, do feel free to change the names just in case. Or you can invent one. If you can't think of one off the top of your head that you want to use, totally make one up. This can be completely fabricated. And bring several of the key concepts in your investigative topic. So think about how this case study might relate to your MIR topic. So if you're working with English language acquisition, ELA learners, you might want to think of a plausible situation an ELA learner might find themselves in, or a teacher of an ELA program might be dealing with, or administration as they're trying to schedule ELA sessions. So think about problems that might be associated with your MIR investigative topic. For either approach, you can use information from published sources. If you do, of course, please use your APA format if you're getting this from someplace other than your brain. And you can use them from feedback from me and feedback from your peers. So you'll be turning in that case study. You'll also be turning in a list of questions. At the bottom of the case study, list at least 4 questions that could elicit useful information from the reader. So from your peers who will be reading and then responding. These can include a mix of open and closed yes/no questions, and then see some of the examples below for the Great West Casualty Company case. So the case is up here. Here are some questions I wrote that if that case was the one I wrote for this assignment, these are questions that would be helpful. The question should tie elements from the case study to your research findings. So when your peers answer the questions, you can use the data from those answers in your MIR document as an Excel spreadsheet, as direct quotes, or as just generalized data. So that's awesome, because then we get some real world application of the ideas that are currently floating around in our head. So you'll use your classmates' responses as evidence or testimony in your MIR report, and that's going to be section 3.4 of the report. So really think about these questions. Think about what kind of information would be useful to you in your MIR report, and see if you can't elicit that information from your classmates. These questions might look a little bit like your interview questions that you did a couple weeks ago. If your case study that you are creating is closely associated with your MIR topic, these questions might look very similar to some of your interview questions. And then, as always, take a look at the rubric. These are how you're earning points, which is, what we all deeply, deeply care about at the end of the day. So that is how this original case study is going to come together for you. If we go into the modules tabs, I have some samples for you. So the original case study sample is located right here in the modules tab. Go ahead and click on that file, and you can see a past students' successful completion of this assignment. So they were writing an original case study about Shake Shack, which is fun to say 10 times fast if you want to tangle your tongue. So they talk about the business, they talk about some of the problems that came up, they talk about maybe some solutions that were going on, they give some real hard data to work with, and then they kind of wrap it up with a question that leaves the reader of the case study thinking, and then they've got their 4 questions for their classmates. And these questions can be yes or no, or they can be more open-ended. Have you ever been to a Shake Shack? If so, was your experience unique, or does it feel like a chain? Why do you think people are loyal to certain chains? Why do you think brand loyalty might translate into profitability? These are questions that then this person used in their MIR report in section 3.4. So think about what questions might be useful to you. This is a great example of what your case study could look like. So for the original case study, an essential part of that is getting feedback. And so we will be getting that feedback in the form of a discussion board. So you'll need to have your original case study done and uploaded to this discussion board before you submit the final draft. Think of it as kind of like a peer review of sorts. And so for this case study question feedback, the purpose of this is to get the feedback you need for those 4 questions you're going to be posting in the original case study. So your job is to post your case study and then respond to 4 other people anywhere in the discussion board. You can respond to any 4 people, whoever you want to work with. And so read through those 4 case studies, answer the 4 questions down at the bottom of their case study, post your answers as a response in the discussion board, and you will do that for 4 of your classmates. Each of those is worth 10 points. That's why the assignment is worth 40 points. However, if you're at the point of the quarter where you're looking for some extra credit, and you would like to earn extra credit points here, you can get plus 5 points for every additional classmate you respond to. So we've got 20 people in the class. You could get a bunch of extra credit points here if you respond to everybody who posted. So this is a chance, if you're a little worried about your grade and where it stands, you can get a really solid boost here and also help out your classmates by giving them more data to work with as they compose their MIR 3.4 sections. So everybody wins. It's great. If you respond to more than 4 people, every additional person is worth points. It's worth extra credit points. 5 points for every extra person. So yay! But you do have to respond to 4 people. 4 is required in order to earn the 40 points on this assignment. Do make sure to answer those 4 questions fully. Post them as a response to your classmate before you begin doing the extra ones. And you can respond to anyone. Be on the lookout for folks who don't look like they've got 4 responses. But you can respond to anybody. That is the joy of this. So if we take a look at our calendar, this case study is evolving this week. It is the focus of our week. So you're going to start working on your original case study, write it. We should be dialing in on our manager interviews by the end of this week. If you haven't gotten those scheduled, please do try and get those scheduled so that they can be done before the MIR is due. And then your case study discussion feedback is due on the 29th. Upload your case study draft, respond to 4 classmates, and you'll get that box checked. And then your original case study in its final form is due on the 30th. We will be using the data that you get back from this discussion board on the 29th to do our Excel graphing exercises next week. So it is very important that you respond to at least 4 of your classmates so that they can be successful on those Excel graphing exercises as well. So lots of fun stuff coming our way. As always, if you have any questions, reach out. I'm here to help. I look forward to seeing how your original case studies come together.